Hey there, everybody. This is one of those scenarios that makes what we do always so interesting and sometimes exciting and unique. The Mets are down. This is our DeGrom replay 2015. I'm sorry, our Cologne, Bartolo Colon replay 2015. And and the Mets are down 6-1 in the top of the eighth inning, and Bartolo's been substituted already for a pinch hitter earlier in the game, and it's 6-1. The Mets strike back here in the top of the eighth against 3, 4 different Braves pitchers going lefty righty type thing, and they make the score 6-5. So right now, as it stands here in the top of the eighth, it's 6-5, and Kelly Johnson is up. He's the seventh place hitter in the Mets lineup. Kelly Johnson, he's the second baseman, and he bats 252 versus righties with good power, 222 versus lefties with no power. There's runners on second and third. There's 2 outs. So they bring in Atlanta management decides to bring in Ross Detweiler, who's a lefty, to face Kelly Johnson, bringing him down to 222 and 0 power. So you pull out Johnson and you bring in Ruben Tejada for the Mets. The Mets counter with the Ruben Tejada move because Ruben Tejada hit 2 home runs against lefties and 260. So it's way better than the whatever it was with Johnson, the 222, right? So at least you got a 260 hitter up there. We're not really worried about the home runs at this point. So now there's 2 outs, runners on second and third. The go-ahead run is already at third, and the time run is at third. The go-ahead run is at second. They're already in scoring position. So why not put Tejada on and face Kevin Plawecki, who bats 122 against lefties? 122, right? It's still early in the game to bring in the backup catcher to pinch hit, because it could get tied, and then later on you run into trouble. So they may just let Plawecki bat. So that's what we're going to do. The Atlanta now counters and says, you know what? We're going to bring in, we're going to walk. Excuse me, Tejada, load the bases. It's top of the eighth. Atlanta's up by 1 run, 6-5. There's 2 outs. It's going to be Ross Detweiler versus a 122 hitter. It sounds good. Let's do it. All right, so we're going to pull a card, and we're using payoff pitch. It's a 3, and it goes to ballpark. That means we got to look at Turner Field. Turner Field is going to play a role in this. And now we're going to pull a card and see he's a right-handed batter, so 1-41 is going to be in his wheelhouse, which means it's a ball that he can handle and he can take out of the park. Let's see what happens. Say 31. So it's in his wheelhouse. All right? So that means we're going to look at Plawecki's wheelhouse versus lefties. Is 1-48 is almost a 50% chance of him hitting a home run. How can that be? Well, it just so happens that he hit 2 home runs in 40 at-bats versus lefties, despite batting only 122. So what do you think is going to happen? Bases loaded. The Mets just scored 4 runs to make it 6-5. Okay, they're down by 1. The bases are loaded. There's 2 outs, top of the eighth. Can Kevin Plawecki, not known for his bat, all right, get a hold of one here with the bases loaded against Ross Detweiler? 43. That ball is hit deep. Back goes the center fielder to the track, to the wall. That's out of here. Grand slam home run. Michael Bourne is basically stunned in center field, and the Mets have just scored 8 runs in the top of the eighth and lead it 9-6 on the grand slam by Kevin Plawecki against Ross Detweiler. Crazy.